Mathura District Court was hearing the case regarding the Krishna Janmabhoomi Shahi Eidgah Mosque case, and the Mathura court has allowed the suit against the Shahi Eidgah Mosque to go ahead. Remember, today the verdict was on whether this case could go forward or not, and the Mathura court has allowed it to go forward. This is a case against the Shahi Eidgah Mosque. This paves the way for hearings now to take place in the court against the Shahi Eidgah Mosque. The petitioners are asking for the removal of the mosque at Mathura, alleging it was built over Krishna Janmabhoomi land, and the petitioners want this mosque removed from the complex. However, so today the verdict was on the issue of whether this case could go ahead or not. This is the Sri Krishna Janmabhoomi Shahi Eidgah Mosque dispute case. It relates to the first lawsuit in the case, in which it was filed by a Lucknow residents asking that the mosque be removed. Initially, remember, lower court had rejected the case. However, today the verdict is on whether this case can be accepted or not, and the Mathura court they're deciding it can go ahead. And the lawsuit has demanded the removal of the mosque allegedly built on the orders of Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb in the premises of the temple near the birthplace of Lord Krishna. The court there pronouncing its verdict, saying that it can go ahead, it can be maintained. So the merits of this case, however, weren't what was taken into account today. It was just whether the case could go ahead or not. So that is the big breaking news right now. The Mathura court has allowed the case to go ahead. This is the Krishna Janmabhoomi Shahi Eidgah Mosque case. The Mathura court has allowed the suit against the Shahi Eidgah Mosque to now be heard. So the petitioners can proceed with their case and proceed with their petition, and the matter can be heard. This verdict paves the way for hearings now to take place in court against the Shahi Eidgah Mosque, as the petitioners want it removed from this complex. Remember, it is right next to the mandir there in Mathura, and it alleges the mosque was built over the Krishna Janmabhoomi land. Well, let's go across to Sukirti now for more. Sukirti, that's the big breaking news. This case can now proceed.
Well, yes, that is the big breaking news from the district court in Mathura right now. The lawyers for the petitioner have just said that this particular verdict from the district court today has now paved the way for hearings to take place against the removal of the Shahi Eidgah Mosque. A lower court in Mathura can now go ahead with hearings on the case, because initially this particular petition was filed in the civil court of Mathura, but it was dismissed by that court, after which the petitioners then appealed against that decision in the district court, and today this particular suit has been allowed by the court, which would mean that hearings are now allowed to take place in this matter. The petitioners want the removal of the mosque. They say that as worshippers they have the right to perform the puja on the Krishna Janmabhoomi. They say that the mosque was a structure that was built illegally, and they will provide evidence before the court in terms of both documents as well as particular archaeological evidence in terms of how there was originally this land belongs to Lord Krishna, and then Aurangzeb during his rule ordered this mosque to be built, and this has been built in an entirely illegal manner. Now the Krishna Janmabhoomi has been a big issue even throughout the UP elections that took place earlier. Even Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath as well as Deputy Chief Minister Keshav Prasad Maurya had repeatedly spoken about the revival of the Krishna Janmabhoomi after the Ram temple in Ayodhya. So this has been a big headline even in terms of the political circles, but now even in terms of the legal domain, the suit being allowed now clears way for hearings to take place, and Also important to point out, while this is one of the original lawsuits that was filed in September 2020, there are over a dozen other petitions as well with respect to the Krishna Janmabhoomi, and there could be likelihood later that some judge might want to put all of these petitions together and then hear them. There are many other petitions that say that they want the right to worship there. Some say the mosques should be removed. There is a fresh petition that has been filed after the Gyanvapi case came into the picture. That petition says that there should be a fresh videographic survey of the Shahi Eidgah Mosque along the lines of the Gyanvapi Mosque. So a similar survey should be conducted here as well. Areas of the mosque should be sealed. So many of those dozen other petitions are also there. However, this particular one filed by at least 6 petitioners, including a woman called Ranjana Agnihotri, who's a Lucknow resident. She was among the first to file this petition, saying that the mosque has been built illegally and the land belongs to Lord Krishna.